Yeah, what's going on? What's going on? Good morning. Good morning, my man. EMP in the chat. Saturday edition with a flex. Yes, sir. Welcome. Welcome. Good morning to this fine Saturday edition of BS Behannas. BS with Behannas. Good morning, Behannas. That's me, Nikki Behannas. You can find this on YouTube. I go live on YouTube sporadically, evidently, inconsistently, evidently, but goddamn it, I get there. This is BS with Behannas on YouTube. Goes out to Spotify podcasts, Apple Podcasts, etc. You can find my music, heavy blues, metal, NikkiBehannas.com, NikkiBehannas.bandcamp.com, Nikki Behannas on all streaming services. You just heard some. Motherfucking, I ain't stopping. Anyway, Saturday edition. Good morning. The whole premise of this is I like to wake up and take a nice walk and read some good shit, talk to the people, and go lift some weights. Now, as I ponder the consistency or lack thereof of this, I get sidewinded sometimes because in my brain, I have linked this little experience, this little project of mine, this YouTube podcast, if you will, talk show, if you will, whatever. I've linked it. It is inextricably bounded now to the idea of getting up early and taking a walk and having time to read before I come out here and talk. And then I go lift some weights and then I go to work. So if I for one, every day is ideal, but it's also impractical sometimes because I want to make sure I have something to come in here with. I like riffing. I like improvising. I like shooting from the hip, doing it live, keeping it hot and live. You know what I mean? But sometimes if I feel like it's going to fucking suck, then I just won't do it. So that's where Monday, Wednesday, Friday, in theory, helps a little bit. But if I say am up super late, whether it's bullshitting and doing trivial things or having fun with my friends playing fucking Halo or Magic the Gathering, and we're up till fucking 1 a.m., or if I got to go to work super late and do inventory and count heads of lettuce and pieces of avocados, etc. Well, sometimes that fucks the next morning up a little bit. And while I would love to be a machine and be able to sleep at 2 a.m. and wake up at 5:30, it fucks me up sometimes. So that's when I'll mess up. And if I don't get a chance to get out here and do the things that I profess to want to do this thing, then I just won't do it because it's more important to me to get what I can out of it at least. I'll still do that shit a lot of times. This will be the thing that suffers. So I'll still take my walk and I'll still read. I just won't talk. And then I'll go lift and then I'll go to work. But that's an explanation since my man EMP is the only one really, the only one really in my life that's pushing me and prodding me and telling me, yo, what's up? What's up? Where you at? Looking forward to it. Where you at, dude? Got something to say? No? Pussy? All right. So duly noted. And I appreciate you, sir. So let that just be said. This Saturday edition, it's fucking beautiful out here in this little corner of Pennsylvania. It went from oppressive, disgusting humidity, murderous heat to feels like fall. And of course, as soon as it feels like fall for 1 or 2 days, it's a nice relief from the dog days of summer. And then I see some motherfucking pumpkin spice K-cups in the grocery store. So I got some pumpkin spice coffee. I'm a fucking whore for pumpkin spice, everything. I love it. Say what you will about that. So it's good vibes today, man. It's good vibes today. We're going to go do a fucking back workout. I suppose some deadlifts are in order before I go about my business. Yeah, man. So that's what's up in this world. What am I thinking about? I'm thinking about reading. I just finished. I read a lot, like a lot of different things at once. It's kind of boring to me to just only be reading one thing. And I find if I'm only reading one book and it becomes, because not, even if I enjoy reading, it's just like lifting weights. Sometimes it's just not enjoyable in a moment, even if it's a virtuous pursuit and a good thing to do. If I'm only reading one thing and I just have to keep trucking away at it, keep grinding away at it, it kind of diminishes the entire joy of the practice. So I'll just read a bunch of different things at once. Sometimes some are more heady than others. Some are more complicated and theoretical and heavy than others. Other times it's just a fun thing to read. I just finished up another book about Buddy Guy. This was written in, I want to say 91 or 92. Damn right, I got the blues. Written by Donald Wilcock, featuring Buddy Guy, with many interviews and clips from other people. Stevie Ray Vaughan, Dr. John, Eric Clapton was a big contributor to it. Talking about Buddy's come up from the plantation to being a working man in Chicago, just grinding along. Didn't get his first fucking major record deal, major album until he was 55 years old in the early 90s. That dude was playing guitar since fucking 1940s, 1950s. That's a crazy, epic, just super awesome story, I think. Buddy Guy is a fucking hero. And his birthday was just yet the other day. I want to say Buddy Guy turned 89, July 30th. 89 years old, still out there making a Stratocaster fucking scream. Buddy Guy is a bad motherfucker. And he just apparently threw the first pitch at a Chicago Cubs game. So that's just like the coolest thing. And the dude just put out an album out. Put a brand new fucking album out. Ain't Done with the Blues. Pretty sure that's what it's called. Really? I should probably check that. I'm really sure that's what it is. I got it. Listen to it. And it's fucking exactly what you'd expect. Let me check, Buddy Guy. He Ain't Done with the Blues. I'm sure that's the title. But yep, Ain't Done with the Blues. Whole bunch of features on there. And that shit's awesome. You know, that dude was grinding away in obscurity. I sometimes ponder and pontificate about doing this for doing anything I do for no audience or no recognition, no sense of tangible success, no sense of us stupid millennials, us young bucks, technologically mind fucked from a young age. It's like we do something and expect that reward pretty quick. Maybe not immediately, but a slightly different degree of immediacy. We kind of expect to see fruits of our labor. Buddy Guy was out there fucking slinging a guitar forever, for fucking 40, 50 years with no real fame. Now he's the last of the dead breed. He was playing with Howlin' Wolf. He was playing with Muddy Waters. He was playing with Junior Wells and Little Walter and all those old school motherfuckers that created this shit, that sent it, that the white dudes in Britain picked up on. And then you get the Rolling Stones. Now you got the fucking Led Zeppelins of the world. And then it turned into a different monster. I think it's so fucking cool. Dude just kept faith and kept fucking doing it. And he talks about that in the book too. He's like, buddy, one day, one day they're going to hear you. One day they're going to hear you. But if you stop playing, if you give it up, they won't ever hear you. Now he's a fucking living legend. Goddamn 90 years old. When I seen him a month ago, yeah, he's still got an attitude. He's fucking out there just playing, having a time of his life. He's got his kid on stage playing with him and shit. It's the coolest fucking thing ever. And I think that's a big testimony to just perseverance, generally speaking, doing what you love. If you're going to do something and you commit to it, you got to do it. What that actually looks like in doing it, who the fuck knows? Nobody really knows. And it's kind of arrogant to think that you know. Do it. Trust the plan, as they say. And keep grinding. Which brings me to the stuff that I'm reading about. Reading my daily Stoic book. There's a quote from Marcus Aurelius. Let me pull it out real quick. Marcus Aurelius, Mr. Marcus Aurelius. This is from yesterday, but the quote from Marcus Aurelius says, "That cucumber is bitter, so toss it out. There are thorns on the path, then keep away. Enough said. Why ponder the existence of nuisance?" Yeah, why ponder the existence of nuisance? That's a good question, because I encounter nuisances and I start cursing and flipping out, getting pissed off at inanimate objects. I'm one of those fucking dudes. But I know better. I know better for sure. I just don't, fuck that stop sign. Fuck this stupid mixing board, dumbass microphone. Fuck you. I get like that, but why? It's dumb. And I know it. Maybe I'm just emotive in that way. But Marcus Aurelius says, why ponder the existence of nuisance? Such thinking would make you a laughing stock to the true student of nature. Just as a carpenter or cobbler would laugh if you pointed out the sawdust and chips on the floors of their shops. Yet while those shopkeepers have dustbins for disposal, nature has no need of them. Thank you, Mr. Marcus Aurelius. Why ponder the existence of nuisance? Keep it pushing. Keep it fucking moving, dude. No need for that. No need for that. I find myself, I get distracted easily by things like that if things don't go my way. And I don't want to be the kind of person who's like that. And I think everybody's like that. I'm not this unique example of such, but it's like, what do you do with it? That's the great existential question posed by Stitches, that bricks in your face, and what you going to do with it. But, that's what I got basically for today. In my also in my readings, rather, I've been trucking through the AA Big Book, which it's not the same book as the one I read on here sometimes, As Bill Sees It. As Bill Sees It is like a daily devotional, I guess you'd call it. maybe not a devotional, whatever, but it's a daily reader that is comprised of miscellaneous things throughout Bill's speaking or writing career. Whereas the AA Big Book is like their history and then their testimonials over the years of how people got sober. And I've been reading one chapter of the testimonials every day. It's just a good thing to do. And I've never actually read the Big Book all the way through. You go to a meeting and they'll read. If they have a Big Book reading, they'll do, a chapter here and there. And it's like you're in fucking high school. One person reads a couple paragraphs, the next person reads a couple paragraphs, and you stop and talk about it. And I like that shit, That's the fucking streetwise English teacher in me, I suppose. But anyway, I've been reading through it. And in the chapter today, it was the man who mastered fear. I like what the guy says here. And again, in my view, most of the AA stuff is not even limited to or only pertaining to the scope of alcoholism or people who need sobriety or in recovery, etc. It's life shit. It's life generally, life on life's terms, as they like to say, which doesn't include pondering nuisances. But I digress. In this little book today, the guy says, quote, the AA program showed me the way to come down to earth, start from the bottom, and work up. And that kind of stuck with me. I think that's important. Coming down to earth. If you're a fucking, I don't know, man, like people, if we suffer from anxieties or depressions or, any type of that mental, emotional stuff, I think the first, that's a very sound course of action right there. Get down to earth first and foremost. Fuck how you feel. Get down here. Start here and then work your way back up piece by piece by piece. You can only handle your affairs if you're starting at a position where you can handle anything. And if you're out there in the fucking just spiraling in the aether, whatever, don't spiral with ether. That's very bad. But if you're just existing in the mental constructs that are bringing you down or keeping you off your course, and I'm very guilty of this. If I'm existing only in my head, if I'm existing only in, worries or feelings, typically, for me, if I'm pissed off or just demotivated or dispirited, I kind of, it takes a focal point for me. I just exist there. The fucking first step is getting down to earth, dude. Get down to earth and then start from the bottom. Motherfuckers don't like starting from the bottom either. It goes back to that idea. You do a little bit and you want a lot for it on some level, doing a little bit and, being outcome independent will push you further along the fucking path. I think I've learned that to be true. And I hear wiser people than me on YouTube or in books talking about that. So I think that's important, which segues me to one of my other daily readings, Mr. John Maxwell reader. What we got today. I really like this today. I'm not going to read the whole page, but the top of the section says working in obscurity. Just like Buddy Guy working in obscurity. Well, he was a fucking legend. So relative obscurity. But I guess obscurity and visibility and notoriety and rapport, reputation, that's all kind of relative stuff anyway. But anyway, Mr. John Maxwell says, what does he say? But it's important for a leader to learn to work in obscurity because it is a test of personal integrity. The key is being willing to do something because it matters, not because it will get you noticed. And then he says to give your best regardless if anyone is watching. I find that to be true. I have found that to be true. So that's what I'm thinking about this fine Saturday morning. On this fine Saturday morning, one more thing, because this is all kind of related, even if I can't string it all cohesively together. I could, I just, not live. If I sat down for 5 minutes and had an awkward pause, I could give you a little mini dissertation. But I'm going to leave it with this today. My man, Norman Vincent Peale, Positive Thinking Every Day, August 2nd, 2025. Norman Peale says, to keep the magic of enthusiasm working for you, have an eye for the charm and romance of living and practice aliveness. Which goes back to what my dude's talking about in that Thumos book. Practice aliveness, the wonder of being alive rather than not. Fucking A right. Anyway, happy Saturday. 15 minutes in, I'm out of here. Thanks for hanging out with me on this fine Saturday morning. BS with Hannas. Good morning, Hannas. That's me. Live on YouTube sometimes, semi-often. BS with Hannas on YouTube, BS with Hannas on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Amazon Audible, NikkiBHannas.com for the music, heavy blues, fucking metal, some hard rock and roll. NikkiBHannas.bandcamp.com, NikkiBHannas on all streaming services. One love, EMP. Keep crushing, brother. Holla at your boy. Later.